beauties, and welcome to another webisode of my story, where we go over my life story and I make excuses for all the reasons why I am the way that I am in 30-minute webisodes. So thank you so much for joining us. I do want to reiterate, this is not a true story. This is just a remembrance and a retelling of my life that was true, but I'm remembering it and retelling it. And see, the thing about memories is, before I started telling my memories, it really felt like I had all my memories and I was so sure about my memories and they were on this perfect little timeline. And as I start telling my story and remembering, it's like, no, memories, they come and they go. You can lose memories, and they begin to blend in together, they begin to become a blend with each other, and it's kind of hard to tell the difference. And someone might remember one event one way, but another person will remember it completely differently, and that's okay, it's okay. It's a part of the process. But for me, I'm telling my story because two reasons really. Actually, multiple reasons. But I'm telling my story in hopes that maybe it'll help someone else out there. Maybe there's parts of my story that if somehow it gets to them and they hear it, it motivates them to do better, be better, live better. And when you're living better, that's what it's all about, right? And enjoying life, People say earth is hell, but heaven is on earth too. Oh, heaven is a place on earth. So anyway, yeah, so, maybe it'll help someone. And also, I started it off with the theory behind the book of Revelation. It says they overcome with their testimony. It's their testimony that they overcome with. So it's my story. To me, that's what testimony is. It's my story. My story. What I lived through, what I walked through, being able to tell it to others is what will help me overcome. And I'm kind of, with this video series, I'm putting that verse to the test. And as I put that verse to the test, and I it's like I get the real world experience of telling my story and literally overcoming with it. So it's really neat. That is what motivates me to keep going, keep telling my story. That and the fact of I want to begin to finish what I start. If I start it, I want to finish it. Even if I don't finish it right away, if I have to put it down for months or years, I'm going to pick it back up and finish it. So, and with this, I just really want to finish it before I can move on to really make Mystic Hillbilly what she's going to be. Because I don't think that she's there yet. I just feel like this story has to be told first. Like, first got to be an overcomer. Once we're an overcomer, then we can go. But I don't know. I continue to move forward every single day, and I continue to have trust, hope, and faith. Whenever I first started telling this story, literally I thought that, I don't know, I just thought that I'm going to make a Venus series, I'm going to make a Moon series, and I'm going to tell my story, and I have my story told in like a month, because I was doing it in my closet, guys, and I would just go into my closet every single day and tell 15 minutes worth of my story, because YouTube would only allow 15 minutes. So there was that too. So yeah, it's, and it's evolved, and I've really grown. I didn't realize how long it would take. It's taken me years, it seems. 3 years I've been doing this, I guess. And I just, I'm almost there though. We're almost to now. So once we get to now, I guess I'll just update you guys on my story, I want to be an open book. I want to be real. I want to be honest. I don't want to be false. Like, Cat Williams said, there are two people in this world, and we're divided because we have two different ways of doing things. There's those people that are on the side of truth, and then there's those people that are on the side of lies. And I'm on the side of truth. And so I want to be true. And overcoming and telling my testimony is a part of that, because I'm letting y'all know all my weaknesses, reasons why for my weaknesses. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to be open and honest. When y'all know my weaknesses and y'all see them up front and personal, you're not able to use them against me. You can't use it against me. You can't use the fact that, hey, you're out here trying to be a spiritual teacher, but you were battling mental illness for years. Like for 20 years you battled mental illness. I'd be like, no, I battled it my whole life. But, like, yeah, it's a part of my story. And people, they need to know that. Transformation is it's possible, but don't ever take someone's word that transformation happened. Look at what they do, I made transformation happen. I made it happen. I made myself into the spiritual teacher that I'm gonna be. I'm making myself into the spiritual teacher that I'm gonna be. But we'll get there. For now in my story, we were at the place where I was living in hell. And it was the worst year of my life, I do believe. Because, first of all, remember right before we were going to be moving out, like, we had been at deer camp forever, and Zach was able to come get the girls all the time, because I was afraid of going to jail for contempt of court. He was always saying that he would, until I got unafraid and just didn't care anymore, and I should have never cared. But there's some things that happened that I want to, I don't guess I remember if I told them or not. So, I remember one time when it was becoming more and more obvious that, he's hurting the girls when they're with him. And he was there and he was talking to me and being friendly. And I had to pray. I had to pray in order to talk to him and be friendly, because I did not want to talk to him. I did not want to be friendly. And one of the things he said, is there even a God? And I was like, oh, there's a God, otherwise I wouldn't be able to talk to you right here, right now. Because that was the only thing holding me up, was the Holy Spirit. I know for a fact. I mean, you have to live it and experience it to know it. But I knew that, yeah, the Holy Spirit's holding me up right now, because the me that is me, I would have either been mean, blown up, And there was a time with his mother where I think that I did tell y'all about this, where, whenever I first got diagnosed with BPD, I poured my heart out to her, and thinking that, she would think, oh my gosh, this was a broken girl. We were treating her wrong. She was a broken girl, I don't know. We can let her kids be a part of our family or something, but no, she used it against me. She started a hate campaign. She made sure everyone knew that I was BPD and how bad BPD is, and I didn't expect that. I feel like such a fool. And not only that, but she started this parental alienation hate campaign, which is why I was fighting it so hard, because she was the one throwing it at me. And it's funny, because what I said I poured all this out to her because I thought maybe they would be more open to letting my kids be a part of their family, because they're a big loving family. And now here she is using that information to explain to people why I won't let my kids be a part of her family, and why it hurts their family so bad. It's not just about the father, it's about the family too. It's insane. It's crazy making. It's crazy making, and it made me crazy. And not that it's an excuse. I already had my mental illness before her, and we'll get to that part of the story too. So, I never really went after child support. Whenever we got the DNA test done of my first baby, you can go back to that part of the story. I don't know where it's at, but um, literally, we got the DNA test. She was like, my first baby was only a year old. She was just 1 year old, and child support was started on her because I was on food stamps. And I never touched the child support. He would pay periodically. He would pay here, he would pay there. He would pay now, he would not pay then. And then he would pay again, and he would pay not again. And there was a pattern to it. Pretty much March through May, I could probably expect to get paid. And December, no way I would get paid in the winter. But maybe, he was probably a seasonal worker, and that happens. But he was an oil field worker. I don't know. But anyway, he was paying the minimum on one child. And it was after he was constantly taking me to court for custody and constantly holding over my head that, he's got to have this visitation. And every single time the girls they would cut it short. They would call and be begging to come home, and I learned through learning about the legal system and having to dive into learning about the legal system that if he has back child support, he can't go after custody. And so I felt like that was like a loophole that I could use. And so I went to the child support place and asked them, because it turns out that you can ask, like I can ask for him to be taken to court every single year. At the time that I was doing this, my oldest was 9, so it had been a while. And then whenever we went to child support court, we found out, of course, every single time that he would go to child support court, he wouldn't have a job, but so he would get the minimum, would be placed at minimum, and we found out that he had never ever paid child support on the second daughter. And so they asked me, do you want the arrears? And yes, I'm gonna say yes, because that's the whole reason that I'm doing this, is to get a massive amount of arrears on him so that I don't have to fear custody court. And I know that that might sound awful and it might sound manipulative, but I had to do what I could to protect my babies because I couldn't do the normal things to protect them. Y'all have heard the story of the visitation times, okay? You can go back and listen to them. This was real stuff happening, and it didn't seem real, and you can't tell people that stuff like that's happening because they're not going to listen. And plus, I really do have a mental illness that I'm battling that I wasn't even aware of. So, my own mental illness. Anyway, because he had never paid child support on there, it was a lot of arrears. And before we had moved into hell, those arrears were placed on him. And once we had moved, and it had to be on a harsh day, I'm never happy. I'm never happy to get even. I wasn't trying to get even. I was not happy to do it. But whenever we had moved into hell, y'all know that I had talked about on another webisode, about how my husband was being accused of being a thief. And I had to go to child support court. I'm like shaking thinking about it. It was just such a horrible year of my life. Whenever you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose. And it's so hard to continue to keep the faith. Of course, at the time, I had abandoned my faith, and I'm going to run back to it like hardcore because it's like, oh my gosh. But Anyway, I go to child support court, and he laid down a case. He said that, that I was trying to get child support in multiple states. He went to Texas and pulled out a child support case for him there, so that it would look like I was doing it for multiple states. And then he said Colorado too, and he said the other state too. And I lived there, but I never ever opened a case there, so I don't know. And I knew that it was wrong. I knew that it was wrong. He was basically in court saying that I was going from state to state and opening up a case in multiple states and all the states around us. I could do this if the court will allow me to continue. I will open up a case in these girls' names and his name in every single state, and I will be getting paid from him double, triple, quadruple, to the point where his whole paycheck will have to go to different states' child support and in my pocket. I was this big time person doing this, and I was like, because you don't know what they're going to pull out in court. Like, whenever we were going to court for the molestation stuff, and I had tapes from the freaking police advocacy center that I took my daughter to. She had gone to the hospital and been seen. We had all that stuff. That stuff didn't matter. What matters was his defense. She's a parental alienator, and she will go out of her way. I didn't expect that. I was like, this is so sad for him. This is going to be so cut and dry. It's obvious that he was molesting them. So it's so sad for him, But honestly, he's the one that did the stop. If you can't do the stop, you can't, If you can't do the time, don't do the crime, right? So I'm not going to feel bad, but it sucks. And it's cut and dry. There's no getting out of this. And I left it going, oh my God, I brainwashed my child to believe that she had been, and I even got the state police involved on it, and I got, I had I had a hospital involved. I've gone above and beyond to make sure that it looks like she was molested. And then now we went to court again, and he lost. It's like a win-lose. And I began to see that pattern, so whenever I lost, I didn't really care as much. But we went to court again, and he did. He pulled this. She's this child support baron, and they took off all his arrears. Zero. I was expecting that they would be like, well, we can take off half. Because it was a lot. It was a lot, guys. They put a lot on him. They put it down to zero. That was like a shot in the gut for me. Because I knew it was coming next. Custody court. Sure enough, we get hit with papers. So, we moved to hell to save money to get a place. And we did. We saved money. We had a good chunk of change to do a good down payment, because we have three girls, right? And they're going to be teenagers. They need their own space. So we saved up a good chunk of change, but we just got hit. My husband got hit with a lawsuit for thievery, and I get hit with a lawsuit for child custody court, which it takes a lot of money, guys. And I was defeated, but my husband, he was really supportive, and he was like, you know what, because I was like, we got to buy lawyers, and he was like, you know what, we don't have to as much. We can find a way to finance some of this stuff, to take out some loans and to pay them off quickly, and that's just going to help our score better too. And it doesn't have to be court stuff or house. It can be court stuff and house. But I need you to be on board with me. That's what he told me. And so I was like, yeah, I can get on board with an and. So we were doing and. That's what we were looking at was and. Because it had to be. I had to protect my kids. After we moved into hell, he had already admitted that he did it to my face. His therapist, or not his therapist, the kids' therapists were already telling me that he's being pursued behind the scenes and to keep them away from them because it might not look good on me. So, yeah. And his mom celebrated, all over social media. And they would always bring God into it. Always. Like, Zach is always carrying a Bible, always praying, always talking about God, and so is his mom. It makes you think, what God are you talking to? And I don't know, I've always understood, though, whenever I talk to my God, the God that I talk to, he tells me, they're my children too. So they are his children too, and it helps me with finding forgiveness, because it's just necessary. It's necessary. I felt hurt by both of them over and over again, and it felt like they had a free license to be in my life and just stir it up and stab me. Stir it up, stab me, and that part is real. And I do have to forgive them for that. They are God's child too. But yeah, and with my husband, we're almost out of time again. I didn't have enough time in that video to explain, because we took that mindset and we both prayed to God and we both asked God to help us through both court battles. And because of that, it motivated me. It motivated me to go to the man's house, the old man's house, who, he was busted at, and to talk to him and to be like, why did you do this? You know that you gave him permission. You know that he would not have taken that stuff if you had not given him permission. My husband did continue doing some scrapping stuff because he was like, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to let them get me down. What he did was he has a lawyer buddy, and he got with him, and he was able to print out some official paperwork to where now he won't remove anything off of any property until the owner has signed that he has permission. So he was getting legal permission now. And I went to the lady who, the mistress of the landlord guy, she was saying that those chairs were hers. And we were like, okay, well, you can have them. She said, I don't want them. You shouldn't have taken them, was how she said it. So whatever. We were like, well, you can have them. And she said, I don't want them. You shouldn't have taken them. She's, okay, whatever. If you don't want them, then what do you want? And we were able to go to, I went to that old lady, and I talked to her, and she was upset about it, because she was like, he's the nicest man. I'm so upset about that happening. And she told me, she said, if those are mine, because he had spray painted the top of them, she said, on the bottom, and there it's going to have my signature. And sure enough, it was there. And I took pictures of that, and I had her write out a testimony for that. So it didn't cost us a lot. I studied the law. I got to know it. I figured out how we could get out of this. And then the guy that set him up, I went and talked to him. And it turns out that it was the guy that I learned my Scarlet A from. He was well known around the neighborhood. Everybody loved and admired him still. And me having nothing to do with that. Anyway, he was well known around the neighborhood, and I know this is kind of getting confusing. The guy whose house, he was like an older guy whose house that my husband was busted at, right? The reason why he did that is because the guy I earned my Scarlet A with came to his house and talked this old man into telling him that my husband was a horrible, awful guy, and he's a horrible guy. He's going around doing horrible things, and we've got to get him, right? We've got to get him. And, I was just like, do you really think he's a horrible guy? He's been married, and he's got 3 kids. He's doing his best to hold a family together. And we continued to go see this old guy and to have, barbecues at his house, too, and to really get to know him. And he was willing to get on the stand for us and say the truth. That, he had given him permission. And that meant a lot to me. But it also showed me that, with the proper mindset, even in hell, you can find a way out. And it's small steps. And it's holding the faith. It's not letting go of God, even though you don't understand why he's doing what he's doing. But it's continuing to hold on to God and to move forward and to move with truth. It's one thing I've always known. Lie gets around the world twice as fast. Once the truth puts its boots on, that lie gets knocked down. And it's over for the lie. But the truth keeps walking. Alright guys, that's all I got for my story today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me to the end. You're the best. You know you're the best. And as always, be blessed with love. That's all. Wait a minute. No, that's not all she got. She got a little bit to say just here at the end, so hold on, folks. I just want to say really, really quick, I've got an exciting opportunity to share with you. As a student and a content creator, I pour my heart and my soul into each and every video, and I absolutely love bringing you all along on my crazy adventures. But creating quality content requires a lot of time, effort, and resources. But that's where you can come in. If you enjoy my videos and want to share your support, I've set up a few ways for you to contribute and become an even more integral part of the Mystic Hillbilly community. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me to continue doing what I love most. First of all, I have a few donation options available to you. If you'd like to make a one-time contribution, you can find the links to my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal in the video descriptions. And every single donation, no matter how big or small, truly makes a difference and allows me to create even more exciting content for you all. But wait, there's more. I'm thrilled to introduce to you my Patreon membership, where for only $5.55 a month, you can gain access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content and outtakes from all my videos. As a Patreon supporter, you'll get to see all the edits and behind-the-scenes bloopers that didn't make it in the final cut. It's like having a VIP pass to the Mystic Hillbilly editing room. This is really something special for all my haters out there. As a member, you'll gain access to hours of footage of me making mistakes, doing everything wrong, and just having an all-around hilarious time. So, haters, if you ever want to see me in my most human, this is your golden opportunity. So, whether you choose to become a member or make a donation, know that your support is deeply appreciated. I genuinely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this amazing journey with me. Your positive energy and contributions mean everything to me. Before I go, I just want to take a moment to say that I pray that every blessing sent my way is multiplied and returned to the sender tenfold. May success find their way into your lives as you've brought them into mine. Thank you all so much for your support, and until next time, stay adventurous, stay curious, and always remember to keep the mystic in you alive. And now, that's all she got.